Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another beautiful day. Today, our objective is that you will understand what the acronym UPSL stands for and that you understand the steps to complete all four parts of the process. So the first thing we need to do is we need to label what is UPSL. So the U stands for understand. The P stands for plan. The S stands for solve. And the L stands for look back. Okay. This organization method and these steps that we are going to go over today from now on will be the standard expectation anytime you are solving word problems. So if you have questions, if there's something you don't understand, you need to make sure that you ask early. That way we can get you caught up and you can solve word problems the way that it's expected. So with understand, this means that you are going to draw a picture. Pretty straightforward. The P for plan means that you are going to draw a model. The S for solve means that you are going to write an equation. And solve. And then look back is where you are going to write an explanation. Okay. We're going to use this word problem this morning, working together, so that you understand UPSL and what's going to be expected not only for the rest of the year, but also how I expect you to work problems when we are learning through problem solving and for your upcoming assignment this week. So, our problem says, Jordan bought 2 paperback books for $14 each and some hardback books for $26 each. Jordan spent a total of $106. How many hardback books H were purchased? So just to give myself some reference, so he bought 2 paperback books for $14 each and some hardback books for $26 each. Spent a total of $106. How many hardback books H were purchased? So to help myself, I'm first going to write a sentence with a blank that is going to answer the question. So it says, how many hardback books H were purchased? So my first sentence is going to say, Jordan bought blank hardback books. I'm also going to write another sentence after that, but we'll get to that point here in just a minute. Now I need to start with my understand. I need to make sure that I understand what this problem is saying and what it's asking me to do. So I understand that Jordan bought 2 paperback books for $14 each. Okay, so I can draw 2 books and I can put $14 inside. I'm going to try and make that one a little bit better. And some hardback books for $26 each. So I'm going to say hardback books, 26 each, but we don't know the number. We do know that he spent a total of $106. So I'm going to put a plus sign between these two, and then it equals $106. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that I have all the information. Jordan bought 2 paperback books for $14 each and some hardback books for $26 each. Jordan spent a total of $106. How many hardback books, H, were purchased? Okay. I understand what's going on in the problem now. Now I'm going to draw a model. I'm going to start with my total bar, which represents $106, because that's how much he spent. And then I'm going to have my parts bar. I know that he spent $14 on 2 paperback books. And the rest of this section is H, which equals the hardback books. That were $26 each. Okay. Now I'm going to come down to my solve portion. I need to write an equation that's going to help me solve this problem. To do so, I'm going to use what I drew in the picture and what I drew in the model. I know that ultimately I'm going to have a total of $106, and this equals the 2 hardback books, or the 2 paperback books, so I can say $14 times 2 plus, we don't know the number of hardback books, times $26. Okay. $106 equals $14 times 2, because he bought 2 books, plus the number of hardback books, H, times $26, because each hardback book was $26. Now I'm going to take the time to solve this problem. Okay. I'm going to solve 14 times 2, which is 28. Now I bring down everything else that we have not solved yet. So now I need to figure out how to get this H by itself. So if I subtract 28 from this side, I'm also going to take away $28 from this side. So this is now gone, cancels out, and I need to subtract 106 minus 28, because I'm going to take away the value of the 2 paperback books from the total. So I cannot do that. Nope. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. So now I'm left with $72 equals the number of hardback books times $26. Okay. So now I can do a couple different things. I am going to list the multiples of 26. So 26 times 1 is 26. 26 times 2, well, I know that 26 plus another 20 is 46, and 46 plus 6 is 52, plus another $26. So 50 plus 20 is 70. 52, hold on, I think I made a mistake somewhere. I made a mistake, and I know where I made my mistake now. I made my mistake when I was doing my subtraction. And this is a pretty major mistake. I was rushing, and because I was rushing, this whole portion of my work is incorrect. So I need to resubtract 106 minus 28. So now I need to think about this logically. And I know what I did. When I regrouped from the tens place to the ones place, I put it as 10 instead of 16. So I cannot borrow from the tens place, so I have to go to the hundreds place. That's going to turn my hundreds place into a 0 and my tens place into 10. Now I can regroup, and my tens place turns to 9, my ones place turns to 16. 16 minus 8 is actually 8. 9 minus 2 is 7. So technically, this needed to say that 78 equals the number of hardback books times 26. And how I caught myself was I realized, well, I know that this is going to be an even number. H is not going to be a decimal. He can't buy a part of a book. He's going to have to buy a whole number of books. And if I'm thinking about this, 50 plus 20 is 70. 72 plus 6 is 78. So I knew that my subtraction here was wrong. And knowing that, I can now celebrate the fact that, hey, I made a mistake. It happens. I'm human. And I know exactly what I did. I made a mistake when I regrouped. So I took the time, marked off what I did wrong, redid the subtraction to get the correct difference. So I now know that 78 equals 1, 2, 3. So H equals 3 times 26. So H equals 3, and he bought 3 hardback books. All right, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to complete my sentences and my explanation. Jordan bought 3 hardback books. Now, how did I solve this? The first thing I did is I multiplied. So I multiplied $14 times 2 to find the total spent on paperback books. Then, so I found that, and then I subtracted that product from the total. Then I subtracted the product, which was $28, from my total. This tells me he spent $78 on hardback books. And then finally, my last step is I figured out the multiples of 26 that equaled 78. Then I listed the multiples of 26 to find how many hardback books were bought. So now I can see if this makes sense. I can go back and check my work. Now I've run out of space here, so I am going to use another piece of paper to double check my work and make sure that this makes sense. My original formula, my equation, said that 106 equaled the 2 paperback books that were purchased for $14 each, plus the number of hardback books, H, multiplied by 26. We then determined that H equaled 3, so now I'm going to plug in that H equals 3 times the $26 that each hardback book cost. Oh, I made a mistake. That's supposed to be a 2. All right. So see, I make mistakes regularly. It's going back and catching them, making sure that you're thinking logically about what you're doing. So now I'm going to use PEMDAS to solve this. PEMDAS says that you have to start with parentheses. So I'm going to start with my first parentheses, 14 times 2, which we know is 28. Now I'm going to rewrite everything I haven't worked with. Okay. I still have parentheses, so I can't move on yet. 3 times 26. We listed the multiples, but let's go ahead and double check it. 26 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, we had it right. That means that he spent $78 on hardback books. Now we just have to prove that 28 plus 78 equals 106. Eight plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 7 is 10. We took care of our parentheses. We won't have exponents. We had no multiplication, no division. The only thing we had was addition, and that left us with proof that 106 is correct. And we had no subtraction. So we've now proven without a shadow of a doubt that we solved this correctly, that we determined what H was. Now, the way that I solved this may not be the way that you would have solved it. But no matter what, the expectation is that you do create an equation to solve this problem. So now we have a full UPSL breakdown. We understood it by drawing a picture. We planned it by drawing a model. We then solved by writing an equation that 106 equaled 14 times 2 and h times 26 each. And then we solved to determine that h, the number of hardback books purchased, equaled 3. We had a sentence, Jordan bought blank hardback books, that answers our question. We filled in our answer, which was 3. And then we wrote out an explanation of what we did. I multiplied 14 times 2 to find the total spent on paperback books. Then I subtracted the product 28 from my total, 106 minus 28. This tells me he spent $78 on hardback books. Then I listed the multiples of 26 to find how many hardback books were bought. 26 times 3 equaled 78, and therefore that is how we know that h equals 3. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that this helps you see and break down word problems a little bit better, and we will practice this more in class. Have a great day, guys.